Before we start the video, let's put something in very clear perspective, okay? This here is an MSI R9 260X. So this is the one from R9 260X Gaming, obviously. This is the MSI R9 290X Lightening. See a difference? I thought so. Let's start. Let's rock. Hey Rockstars, Vane here. Alright, so without further ado, I'm not going to keep you guys waiting. Let's start the unboxing. First and foremost, let's take a look at this thing. And this thing is not light, let me tell you. So you can clearly see right there, MSI Lightening. Yeah, I apologize in advance about the terrible lighting in here, but we'll have to make do with what we got, right? Right, let's do this. Now, first and foremost, this is probably one of the best cases I've ever seen for a computer component. This is stunning. The presentation on this is just something else. I mean, you got the Lightning right across here. Now, this just flips open. And look at that, it's even got, cord there and everything. So, in here, what are we going to find? Well, we're going to find this heavy goddamn behemoth that adds 3 pounds instantly to any computer. Okay, so let's get this sucker out of its anti-static packaging. There we go. This thing is not light, let me tell you. I'm not joking. This thing is a behemoth. Okay, let's get it out of here. So I'm not really going to get too far in depth with the specs of this thing. And where are you stuck on? Okay, there we go. Finally got it. Okay, we're not going to get too far in depth, but okay. See if I can get it comfortably here. Okay, this sucker clocks in at a good 3.5 pounds. This thing is not light. Also, if you notice, it takes up 3 slots on a motherboard. You heard that right. Exactly 3 slots. Okay, that's a lot of space. So you better make sure you have the dimensions for this card. Now you can see the branding on the top again. Try not to touch the fans because I really don't want to damage them. Now, this thing has a massive, massive heatsink with Triforce cooling fans. So, we got the 2 big fans on the side, we got a small one in the middle. Now, these can be independently controlled through software that MSI provides. Now, here's another pretty part, and how you know you're buying quality immediately when you buy this card. Backplate. So, that will protect both the card from shorting out, being zapped, or being dropped, God forbid. Woo! Okay, no. But, also protects your fingers from being scratched and cut while you're installing this fucking monster. Now, okay. So, has the 2 DVI ports, as you can see, has the display port and standard HDMI, just what you'd expect from a high-end card like this. Now, okay, if you're wondering about the power consumption of this beast, well, guess what? You're gonna need a hell of a power supply. This thing requires 2 8-pin, yeah, I said that, 2 8-pins, and a 6-pin. So, you're not going to run this thing for cheap. So, just a heads up right away. So, basically, this is for enthusiast PC gamers / overclockers. So, you're not really going to want this as just a run-of-the-mill, like, casual PC gamer. This is made for the hardcore overclockers out there. And believe me, you can push this thing hard as far as overclocking goes. So stock clocks are set at, well, the core clock is set at 1150, and the memory clock out of the box is set at 1250, okay? Actually, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. It's, the core clock is actually 1080 out of the box, okay? So, yeah, edit that last part out, future vein. Yeah, that's what I thought. Fuck you, too. Okay. So, now another interesting feature, if you got a glass, or if you have a glass side on your case, plexiglass, something like that, you got this here, like I showed you earlier. This lights up. Now, the hotter the card gets, the brighter red the lightning symbol will get. Okay? The heatsink and the Triforce fans do a beautiful job of keeping this card cool. This is probably the coolest R9 290X on the market. Alright, so let's talk about overclocking capabilities and temperatures. The temperatures that I've noted so far are extremely cool, but then again, you'd really be expecting that, considering look at the size of this heatsink and these fans. I mean, holy shit. These are here for a reason. These keep the card insanely cool, even on stock cooling. So, you gotta know what you're doing to really push this card hard enough to overheat it. But, okay, it is very possible if you overclock this thing wrong, which it is possible to go a little bit nuts with the overclock, considering this thing will take a lot. Out of the box, as I said, it will hit, it is currently clocked out of the box at a memory clock of 1250 and a core clock of 1080. I was able to safely and stably, is that even a word? Stably? Sounds like a word. We're going with it. I was able to push this thing safely to a memory clock speed of 1600 on stock cooling. Now, also it's fair to note that this thing has dual BIOS. What is dual BIOS? Well, let's take a look here. Yeah! See that little sucker right there? That is the BIOS switch. What does that do? Well, set to original mode, it's no frills, and you can still overclock, sure, but when it's set to its what's called LN2 mode, you can unlock the voltages, and you can juice this thing like the fucking Hulk. Not really advised to go nuts with that, but experiment at your own risk, and yeah. So, after overclocking to that monstrous overclock, I was able to tweak the voltages a little bit, jack them up just a tiny bit, and it was beautiful. It was a stable overclock, and sure enough, I was achieving monstrous frame rates. But this thing is really heavy. Okay, so other than that, yeah, you see the dimensions of the card. Also has these little slots here for your jumpers. Now what do those do? Well, they warn you of clock instability and voltage instability. And you also got access to the fan plugins, of course. Now, another thing you're going to notice right off the bat is, hey, where's a crossfire bridge? Guess what? This one doesn't require one. This one crossfires straight through the PCI port on your motherboard. So, no crossfire bridge required. So, that's basically it about the card. But as far as temperatures go, during the 3D Mark Firestrike Ultra test, by the way, yeah, I was getting garbage FPS on that, obviously, but show me a computer that can run that benchmark solid, and I'll sell you a chunk of land in Florida for $1. But anyway, this thing didn't heat up past 70 degrees under intense load. But then again, with this kind of a cooler backing it up, that doesn't shock me. So let's go ahead and put this sucker away for now. And we're going to talk a bit more about this awesome pack. Now, here's the thing, okay? You've seen the top, you've seen this wonderful little part right here in the hole. Okay, look at that, it's even got a strap there. Oh my god, it's prestigious. But then again, I would expect, you know, an amazing packaging and yada yada yada, and design of the card for the amount of money you're paying for it. Now, let's go ahead and look at the bottom of this sucker. What's so neat about the bottom? Accessories! Okay, I won't do that ever again. Okay. So, it's got a little drawer that slides right out. Isn't that cool? Yeah. So, let's go ahead and put this down over here. Now, we have 2 compartments here. And the first one, whoa, prestigious. We have a certificate of quality and stability. Yes, quite. So, there's that. We have, of course, all the cords. These are basically power supply cords. Your 8-pin, your 2 8-pins, and your 6-pin. But then again, I have a power supply that already supports all those connections. And if you're wondering, no, these are not Molex to 8-pin or Molex to 6-pin at all. In fact, I don't recommend using. If you have Molex to 8-pin or Molex to 6-pin, I don't recommend using it with this card. It will probably starve for power because this thing needs a power plant to run. Okay, so, in fact, I don't even recommend using these things that are provided with graphics cards because, I mean, come on. You should have a power supply that supports these if you're going to be running top-end hardware like this. Now, obviously, you have those plus the jumpers. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but there's a little jumper right there, okay? Now, that is to test the stability of your clock speeds, okay? As I showed you earlier on the card itself, but again, I just think this is hilarious. Let me show you guys again, okay? This here that I can hold with one hand, okay? This little guy here. This is the R7260X right here. The MSI R7260X, eh? No frills, you know, just metal front plate and, you know. But then, like, let's put them side by side just for shits again. Like, let's see if I can. Okay, let's see if I can. There we go. It's almost laughable, really. Okay, you guys really can't tell the weight difference though, but my God, there is a weight difference, big weight difference. Like, this guy's been eating way fucking too much. Oh my God, he's way too buff. Like, holy shit, this is the roided out fucking card. Okay, so without further ado, okay, we're gonna get to the part that I'm sure you guys have been waiting fucking 3+ years to see. You guys are gonna look inside my computer case for the very first time. Let's go ahead and do that. Welcome to the installation portion. This is where we're gonna focus on installing this badass card. Let's dive into my case. This is it. So I told you guys on my Facebook page, don't expect any frills because there aren't any. I am currently working on upgrading the motherboard and the case. Those are going to be the next 2 things upgraded. For now, I have to pretty much use what I got because I ain't YouTube rich yet. Okay, let's start. So we're just gonna take the panel off here, put it aside in a safe place, just prop it up right here. Okay, that works. Now, what are you looking at, you're asking? Okay, well, first and foremost, this heavy sucker right here, which I don't know if you guys can see, this big brick here, this is the cooling unit for my 8-core CPU. What you're looking at here, and by the way, my cord management skills are not exactly what I would call, well, good. But, I have to do hand talking right now to be expressive. Anyway, this thing has a 120mm fan that you can see spinning around right now. Also, it lights up, so it's got LEDs. This is a Xigmatek Dark Knight 2 heatsink / fan. So this thing is massive, by the way, alone. So it's like 3/4 the size of the motherboard. And now this back here, let's go ahead and lift that up here. Let's see if we can actually see this. This is the new power supply I have just installed. This is a Corsair CS750M. So the M stands for modular. What is modular power supply, you ask? Well, the cords that go into it, okay? These cords, these are completely detachable from the power supply. Yeah, so you can take these off and plug in what you need as needed. That way you don't have a ton of cords cluttering your system. You think this is bad right now? You should have seen the way my previous system with the previous power supply was. It was just a spaghetti of wires throughout this. So, okay. And you definitely probably cannot see that, but anyway, down here, okay, yeah, it's kind of too dark. Let's see if I can shed a little light on this situation here. Okay, so yeah, I'm using one of the set lights right now to oh god, it's causing quite a glare. Okay, I don't want it in the shot. Okay, let's see if we can mount this a little bit better here. That kind of works. Oh, no, it doesn't. Holy hell. Production problems. Please stand by. Okay. Let's just say... Okay. So you can see clearly the CPU fan. I really should have done this with better lighting. Okay. So we have the Corsair power supply. Okay, you want to fall now. Okay, and then way in the back, underneath here, this right here is the two Kingston Fury X. I think that's what they're called. But it's basically, this motherboard only houses 2 RAM slots, so I had to go with a 2x8 RAM kit. So this thing effectively now has 16 gigabytes of RAM, DDR3 clocked at 1600 megahertz. Now, here's the funny part, okay? Let me show you guys something. If you think this card is going to be easy to install, okay? No. Okay, let me show you something. Okay, now, that's the graphics card. That's the case. That, right here, this slot, that's what that goes into. Not easy. Okay, so, you know what? This requires a little bit of finagling to get in there. So I am going to cut here, I'm going to install the damn thing, and then you guys can view it afterwards, because trust me, it's nothing to install a graphics card into a slot. All it is you see the bottom part right here, the contacts, those contacts gotta go in the slot. Really simple logic. Okay, that's how hard it is, right there. Now, let's go ahead and install that, and I'll be right back with you guys. Okay, another thing I want to tell you guys before you go installing graphics cards, okay, if they require, you know, their own power inputs, go ahead and install the power inputs first before you install the card. Trust me, you're going to make your life a hell of a lot easier. So, how do they install? Very simply. Just snap them right in. It's that easy. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and install this thing, and I'll see you guys in just a minute. Right, so we're finally all installed, and everything is looking just great. You don't know how much of a bitch it was to get that son of a whore in there, trust me. So if you take a look there, we've got her all installed, and there we go. Okay. So, just had to zoom in the camera a little bit. That looks good. So now, don't ask how I did that. It's all magic. I fit that big monster in that small tight slot. That's what she said. Alright, yeah, I couldn't resist. I mean, come on. Do you blame me? Okay, let's take a look at the system as it is now, okay? So yes, my cord management really blows. That is not even a question. Okay, so let's do a full look at my specs right now as they stand. Underneath this is my 8-core FX, or rather AMD FX 8310 clocked at 4.5 gigahertz. So that is a powerful overclock on that 8-core CPU. Now we've got a 120mm fan right here. We've got the Lightening, the MSI R7, or R7, right. Yeah. Not this thing. No. Which, I mean, look at the difference. And I'm getting all disoriented with the way the camera is pointed because I'm facing the other direction. Anyway, so big difference, right? Because this thing, this monster, it's going right over to here. Okay? Again, don't ask me how I got it in there. It was only a miracle. I prayed to fucking Muhammad. I prayed to fucking Shiva. I prayed to Odin. Okay? That's how I got it in there. Now we get the power supply up here. We have the Corsair CS750. We have the 2 RAM modules way the hell back here. I don't know if you can even see them. They're under a cord too. Okay, I don't know if you can, but anyway, trust me when I say they are there. Okay? They're right here. They're the glassy bit. Okay? That RAM is so powerful it has its own heat sink. So, look it up, actually. Kingston Hyper Fury X if you're interested in RAM. And you have limited RAM slots available on your motherboard, like I do. Right now, I'm forced to work with dual channel DIMM, okay? So, basically, I have to work with what I got. So I had to go with 2x16. And then we have, for the CPU cooler, the Xigmatek Dark Knight. And, like, this thing is so damn huge, okay? It barely fits in the case. It stands really tall. So it's usually a pretty good fucking struggle to get that top piece on. But, yeah. Now, down here in this bay in here, we have, and by the way, don't fucking buy these. This is a Seagate Barracuda 1TB, 7500 RPM hard drive. Now, I had 2 of them before, okay, in a RAID 0 configuration. But one of them crapped out on me. Now, that wouldn't be so bad if it was just one of them that crapped out on me. I've had 3 of them so far crap out on me in the span of 3 years. Yeah, quality. Go Seagate. But no, you really get what you pay for when it comes to computer parts, and hard drives are no exception. So, that was a spare I had lying around, thank God, because the 2 that I had in RAID 0 basically crapped out on me. They took a shit, and that was it for those hard drives. And I went ahead and sold my SSD as well. I don't know why in the fuck I ever did that. I needed to at the time, but yeah, so my SSD is gone. But anyway, I have a 1TB hard drive, which that's going to be replaced with an SSD at some point. But the next things that will be upgraded will be the case and the motherboard. This, I don't know if you guys can tell or not, but this is a micro ATX motherboard. It's also an MSI motherboard. So, not only do I use a lot of AMD parts when it comes to building, I use a lot of MSI. I don't know, I just prefer MSI for stability and for cost-effective reasons, and believe me, it's cost-effective when you're going MSI. MSI, they're usually pretty fair priced. Not only that, but they make pretty damn good parts. I've never had a problem with the MSI at all. So the board I'm using is a micro ATX. Now let's see if I can remember the fucking name of it. It is an MSI 760G. So this thing has, guess what? A Radeon HD 3000 chipset on it. I know, funny, right? So, yeah. If you guys don't know or you're new to this channel, then that is the chips. That's the chipset right down there that launched my channel to begin with. So, yep, the Radeon 3000 chipset. So it's an MSI 760G P23 FX micro ATX board. Now that'll be in the description, obviously. But anyway, long story short, yeah, that's my computer specs. No real frills, and if I didn't mention before, by the way, the power supply here, it's a 750 watt, and believe me, there's plenty of overhead, 750 watts of juice is more than enough to power this system, because the card at most only requires about 220 under extreme load. Under extreme load as well, the CPU only draws about 95, and those are the two biggest power suckers. I couldn't think of another way to say it, but anyway, those are the two biggest concerns as far as power consumption goes. So as long as these are powered, you're pretty much golden. But anyway, that leaves me with at least, I would estimate at least 50% overhead when it comes to the power supply. So there's plenty of juice for other peripherals, or God forbid I wanted to at some point crossfire these two cards. I totally can if I want to, which I probably will once I get a motherboard that can house both of these, because right now, I don't know if you can see that, but if you look here, there is other slots on this motherboard, but this sucker completely eats them up. They're gone. They're gone under the girth of this card. So, yeah, this card barely fits in this case as well, and I've had no problem with heating issues, so that's not really a thing either. But yeah, like this case has served me really well. It's really just a generic run-of-the-mill like workstation case is all it really is. It's no frills, no, ooh, magical. It's just a case I picked up for about $50, I think. It was just an old workstation case. I mean, it's nothing special. So yeah, that's obviously gonna be upgraded at some point. Although it has a really, really nice LED on the front of it. I like the LED. It's really bright, like you wouldn't believe it. So yeah, that's gonna be done. But yeah, that's my system. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments below. But now we are going to get to the real part of this video. The part that you guys have all been obviously waiting for up to this point. We are gonna benchmark this motherfucker. Stay tuned. Alright, let's tackle the benchmarks. If you thought for a second that I was going to bore you with some simple little FPS graph like every other channel out there, then you obviously don't know me well. So, enjoy some Battlefield 4 gameplay followed by some Tomb Raider gameplay, and you can watch the frame rate counter as it happens live. Alright, so that's my time. Enjoy the gameplay, take care, and you rock.
Here's your med kit. Guys on a hostile
Thanks for fixing me up. Thanks, Doc. I owe you one. Take him out!
There's your med kit. Pick it up. Here's your med kit. Pick it up.
damn gun off me! What the hell? Surprised they even work after so many years! Someone shooting?
Oh, fuck! Get over here! Die!
How many are there?
Only one. The new wreck. You got it!
This bunker. World War II era. The Japanese. It's freezing.
Someone there? Come on, let's check it out.
Careful! It's loaded with fuel!
No shit.
What do they need it for?
Generator, probably. For the tower.
Need some help?
outsider!
What the hell?
I'm gonna watch you die now. It's over for you. Don't fight it! Where you going? Hey! What are you...
Just end it. Please.
Go to hell.